Hello everyone, my name is Kristen and today I will be giving a presentation on Indigenous technical knowledge. Before that, I would like to give a land acknowledgement. I am in my Vancouver home, which is on the Coast Salish peoples, Squamish, Stolo, Tsleil-Waututh, and Musqueam Nation. This beautiful piece of art is by Christy Belcourt. It's currently in the National Gallery of Canada in Ottawa. It's called Water Song. There are 36 paintings in this collection, which Christy painted in protest of the environmental atrocities which are happening in Canada. She does a full explanation of her collection on the website that I will be linking down below for everyone. If you happen to live in Ottawa, the gallery opens November 16th and it's called Uprising: The Power of Mother Earth. So, what is Indigenous technical knowledge? ITK refers to knowledge about local environment that is produced, held, and used by Indigenous peoples and communities. Cowichan elder Florence James spoke a bit about this. She stressed the responsibility of elders to know when and how to take what the land provides, as to leave behind a better earth for future generations. ITK refers not only to thousands of years of figuring out how to efficiently and effectively live off Mother Earth, but also to environmentalism and preservation of land. The acknowledgement of ITK challenges the dominance of Western science, recognizes the plurality of knowledge claims, and provides Indigenous peoples with representation on resource management issues that affect their lives. Being allowed a seat at the table allows Indigenous people to advocate for their land and for their people. For the most part right now, Indigenous people's knowledge, culture, and possible displacement is not taken into consideration when companies and government consider projects such as Site C, for example. In general, approval for these types of projects are interpreted in favor of large stakeholders over anyone else during the regulatory review process, which means due diligence is not being done in order to favor big companies cashing out on exploiting land. And that also means that Indigenous people do not get to profit off their own land very much, if at all. Further, this means Indigenous people have no say in what kind of land their future generations will inherit, as well as no ability to create recurring revenue from these types of projects. Negative effects from displacement flooding, traditional hunting and harvesting territories disruption, and infringement on treaty rights have affected the quality of life for many Indigenous people all over Canada. However, slowly Indigenous people are gaining the right to be taken seriously in the court of law in terms of decisions being made about their land. Unfortunately, many of these huge projects were agreed upon decades ago, and it is more difficult to stop them now. For example, the pipeline, which was agreed upon in the 1950s. In a documentary/research website by Simon Baker, an Indigenous man from Vancouver, works with Nobel Prize-winning Canadian scientists looking at the implications the pipeline could have, as well as the effects of the tar sands already on Indigenous communities. I will link it down below. On the website, there are some very powerful quotes from the families. I will read a few which I feel exemplify better than any empirical evidence the disparity caused by lack of consideration for the land and its inhabitants. One woman says, "Since about 1970, about 14 billion has been taken out of our traditional territory, but to this day my family goes without running water." As well as one woman who described it as, "It's like part of you is dying along with the land." This is a quote from Christy Belcourt. It says, "Canada represents the largest land heist in the history of the world." And the backdrop is another one of her pieces from Uprising: The Power of Mother Earth. It's called "This Painting is a Mirror." Her art represents what I believe many Indigenous people are feeling, to regain their land and be in control of the kind of future Canadian government has tried to deny them. I think in many ways Canadian people feel united right now in our current global and national environmental crisis and want to be active towards protecting our planet from resource exploitation, climate change, and to be able to enjoy the flowers, plants, and animals pictured in Belcourt's paintings. I think I also forgot to mention at the beginning that Belcourt is Métis and she lives in Ottawa. Thank you for listening to my very long presentation. Have a good weekend, you guys.